Hi guys, it's Luetin here, and today we're back with some more Battlefield Vietnam action, and we're looking at the M1A1 Thompson, as well as how to successfully defend a base. We also look at an issue that I highlighted the other day, which is if you are attacking a base, don't all run in the same direction through the same small bottleneck, because generally it's a bad plan. So let's have a little look. Now I've set myself up in a little position here. It gives me a good overview and I can cover this whole sort of left hand side entry point. As you can see it helps as well that the pistol is extremely powerful in Battlefield Vietnam, but the Thompson really does. You can just unleash a load of fire, and the recoil in this game is so minimal that it just allows you to just fire and fire and fire. The only bad thing about the Thompson, of course, is its small clip size, but it kind of makes up for that with the power of it. It has a really nice kind of sort of medium level of power, which allows you to kind of burst people down. With some of the machine guns, the heavy machine guns, they take a little bit more, well, not heavy, they're light machine guns. They take a little bit more often to put into people, but that makes up because you've got plenty of ammo. But it's very nice, with just a sort of short 2 burst you can easily drop people down, and at close range you really can open it up with, you know, full control. Also, when you're moving around a target like this, when you fire a few shots it's pretty important to relocate, especially when you're doing this kind of this dodging in and around objectives and in and around cover, I should say. Because as soon as someone sees you in one position, they're going to be looking at that again. You really need to change your area, and there we go, he's coming around. Take him down again. Now, I'm communicating as always with my team. I'm making sure that we're safe on the right hand side. They're kind of covering that area, so I don't need to worry too much about it. That's something that's really difficult to do when you're in public games, because you see these guys just keep on coming. When you're in a public game, now again, see, they got A there. Now, this is a very tricky thing to do, and this is why I often say you need to look at what your team is doing and work out whether it's safe to move. I was going to stay there. Unfortunately, this guy decided to take sniper class, which outclassed me there. But yeah, you want to sort of be talking to your team if you can. If not, then try and use your minimap, look if people are there, and so on and so on and so on. So my main objective is to get right back up there to the front and help stop these guys getting in. Now, of course, as I often say, one of my rules is that you sort of stay close or nearish to the objective. In a map like this, it's slightly different, because this kind of bottlenecked area, and this is the thing that you need to kind of consider, is look at the geography of a map. Are there certain areas that play to your strengths? And if so, then it can actually be acceptable for you to move slightly more away from the objective than perhaps you would be naturally comfortable with. And we're getting pinned down now by the sort of oncoming onslaught from these guys pushing through here. Now, to be honest, one of the best things they can really do is to try and bring the boat around, but if you've not played on this map, the temple itself has got only a couple of door entry points on the sort of the river side, so this kind of open area where I am now is a much sort of better open selection to get into the base. However, it has the downside here. I managed to pick off that guy. It has the downside, obviously, of being this kind of horrific sort of death trap bottleneck area. What am I doing? I'm sort of dancing around. I think we were having a lot of fun in this round. We were laughing it up. I should say as well, people have been asking questions about Vietnam. Is it populated on the servers? Are there many people playing? It does vary, I will definitely say that. I've had several nights where it was well populated and so on, but we've also had days where it's been very, very difficult. It can often depend a little bit on game mode as well, just who is on. However, I should say, if you have enough friends, you know, for example, I was playing Rush the other day on this, and we were trying to find a Rush game, and we couldn't. But it just kept putting it, there's only a couple of maps, and so we just kept selecting the same sort of Rush map, and it kept putting us into the same game. So if you had 5 or 6 guys that you were ready to play some Vietnam games with, and you all got online together, and you all, you know, you can select to join Rush and a certain map, then you can just join those maps, and chances are, if it's a very quiet evening, you're going to get put into that, you know, that map. If it's not a quiet evening, well, it doesn't even matter, because then you can get some games anyway, can't you? But yeah, I had sort of suggested the other day that they should re-release this, and people were kind of going, oh, well, what's the point of that? I was thinking more in terms of releasing it in the same way that Battlefield... this was released as part of Bad Company 2, so you needed to have the Bad Company 2 disc in order to play this game, and I was saying, well, perhaps... I mean, I don't know if it would actually happen, I was just literally throwing it out there, that I kind of like the idea that, as with Battlefield 1943, now Battlefield 1943 was one of the, I think it was the highest selling DLC of the year, if not up until that point. It sold more than anything else, and that was sold, again, in the same way as this. It only had a few maps, and you literally got straight into it. I think the only downside if they released it as a standalone would be that you would have to start from scratch, and that would be a bit of a problem. However, this one, Bad Company 2 Vietnam, it had its whole weapons set. Okay, now I'm actually using weapons that are not in Bad Company 2 Vietnam. The M1A1 and the Garand, which you've seen me using before, and also the pistol, the M1911. I don't think that they were in this DLC. The M1911 may have been, but I don't think it was. I don't have these facts to hand, I'm just off the top of my head. I don't think they were. They were part of the whole... you know, if you had played previous, I think it was if you played Bad Company, then you unlocked these automatically. It was like a little perk in the game, so you get extra weapons. So it was a bit of a veteran thing, basically, that if you've been a long-time Battlefield player. Also, Bad Company did this. If you had been a Battlefield 2 player, again, you unlocked special stuff that other people could not. So DICE often do this, where they have like, you know, they give perks to people who have been long-term players. I think that's a really good thing to do. I think other games should do that too. If you've been a dedicated and committed player to a certain game type, then you should be rewarded for that. And it's kind of nice that they actually take the time to do that. Yeah. So this gun, that's why I'm looking at it now, and you know, they're really, really nice guns to use. And the Thompson has been used obviously in many, many games, but it handles particularly well in this, and it's really nice to use. I was trying to find Trago here. His body was sort of you can often see the little the revive marker on the minimap, but his body was kind of mixed in with all the rubble there. I couldn't find him. Okay, so we're right up to the end here. So you can see it's been quite a successful defense, but as I say, these guys, they obviously found that we were putting heavy resistance down onto this little path here. Why they kept coming down here, I have no idea. They really should have tried to flank. They could have made it down the river. They could have tried to, you know, cane the boats down there, jump out, get some people around, but yeah, it was not to be. Anyway, thanks for watching this one, guys. Hope it's been a fun little overview, and some more Battlefield content to come very soon.
In South Vietnam.